A stunning announcement from singer Céline Dion. In an emotional video, she told her millions of fans she's been diagnosed with a neurological disorder called stiff person syndrome.
What if you had $800 million but couldn't buy a single day without pain? That's the crushing reality for Céline Dion. Her family is breaking down, not over her money, but over the unbearable truth of her daily existence. The voice that gave the world "My Heart Will Go On" is now trapped in a body at war with itself. We'll reveal the shocking details of her illness, but what's even more stunning is the one thing she refused to give up. It's a decision so powerful it puts her entire fortune and her life on the line. The empire built on pain. Céline Dion possesses a staggering fortune. It's estimated at $800 million. But for her family, this wealth brings only tears. Every dollar is a reminder of an impossible sacrifice. A show performed after losing the love of her life. A tour continued while her health was failing. A voice pushed to its limits, all while her body screamed for rest. Believe it or not, this story isn't about wealth. It's about the crushing weight that comes with it. She sold over 250 million records. Her Las Vegas residencies changed entertainment history. She built a perfume empire and a fashion brand. Her real estate was the stuff of dreams. There was a $72 million estate in Jupiter Island, Florida. She owned a French chateau on a private island in Quebec. It was valued at $25.5 million. She had a quiet mansion in Nevada, now worth $4.5 million. Her children's laughter once echoed through its halls. Her garage held a Maybach 62. She also owned a Mercedes-Benz S350 and a Cadillac Escalade. Each car was a silent witness to triumph and heartbreak. Her jet, a $42 million Bombardier Global Express, wasn't just for luxury. Truth be told, it was her escape, a way to run from grief while chasing her duties. But what she built is more than an empire. It's a monument to her resilience. Yet what she gave up can never be priced. Now her family stands before this incredible legacy. They don't see stocks, bonds, or properties. They see the woman behind it all, a mother who gave them everything. A wife who loved beyond all reason. An artist who bled her soul into every single note. Her diagnosis with stiff person syndrome was the final blow. This rare disease turns muscles to stone. It attacks the very instrument of her success, her voice. The fortune is secure, but her family weeps for the woman who earned it. They cry for the moments she can't get back. And they cry for the pain that no amount of money can ever heal. Her empire is a testament to her strength, but it's also a catalog of her suffering. And the suffering started long before anyone knew her name, in a place so poor it's hard to imagine. The girl in the drawer. It's devastating to enter the world wrapped in music, especially when you're starved of everything else. Céline Marie Claudette Dion was born on March 30th, 1968. She grew up in the small town of Charlemagne, Quebec. She was the youngest of 14 children. Her family was overflowing with song, but their cupboards were completely empty. Her parents were musicians. The house was filled with harmony, but that harmony echoed off bare walls. There was never enough food. There was not enough space. There was not enough warmth. Her first crib was not a crib at all. It was a drawer pulled from a wooden cabinet. It was lined with blankets. This drawer cradled a baby who would one day move millions. But at that moment, she had nothing but melody. Her life was never about comfort. It was about survival. And through that struggle, something incredible was born. By the age of 5, she sang at her brother's wedding. She wasn't just a cute kid, her voice was already breaking through the noise of poverty. She sang like it was her lifeline. By 12, she was writing songs with her mother. She recorded demos with her brother Michel. They sent one tape to a man named René Angélil. He was a music producer in Montreal. When he heard her voice, he wept. He said it was the voice of an angel. Then he did something unbelievable. He mortgaged his own house. It was his only home. He did it to fund her first album. That wasn't just a business move, that was pure belief. It was a sacred gamble on a shy girl, a girl with crooked teeth and a voice that was too big for her body. She gave up her childhood. While other girls played, Céline practiced. While others went to school dances, she was in freezing studios. She learned English phonetically. She didn't even understand the words. She just copied every sound like her life depended on it. Because in reality, it did. Her first song became a hit in Quebec. At just 14, she sang at a festival in Tokyo. She performed in front of 115 million people. The girl from a forgotten town was now a star. But every award was built on sacrifice. She didn't just carry her own dream, she carried the hopes of her entire family. She was their way out of poverty. That was the real pressure. Not fame, but survival. And yet from the ashes of that difficult childhood, the greatest love story of her life would soon begin. The man who was her shelter. Destiny had already chosen her protector. His name was René Angélil. She first met him when she was just 12 years old. He was a respected man in the music industry, and he was 26 years older than her. But he was the first person to see her greatness. He didn't just hear a voice, he heard a soul. When he bet his own house on her talent, it wasn't business. It was the sound of fate knocking at the door. From that moment on, they built more than a career. They built a sanctuary. He became her shield in a cruel world. The world watched a young girl become a superstar, but René stayed in the background. He was silent, steady, and protective. When she was tired, he lifted her up. When the lights burned too hot, he stepped in front of her. He was the calm breath behind every powerful note she sang. Here's the thing. Over time, that trust turned into love. At 19, she confessed her feelings in a letter. Their love bloomed quietly, hidden from the world. They weren't trying to deceive anyone, they were trying to protect something fragile, something the world would rush to judge. Their bond was never a scandal. It was her shelter. In 1994, they were married. The ceremony took place at the Notre Dame Basilica in Montreal. She walked down the aisle as a woman choosing devotion. Their marriage was profound and faithful. René was her husband, her manager, her anchor, and he was the father of her children. He was her balance in the chaos of fame. When she sang about love, she wasn't just singing lyrics. She was testifying to her own incredible love story. Together, they navigated a world of Grammys and baby bottles. They managed world tours and quiet goodnights. He was backstage for every standing ovation. He never wanted recognition for himself. He only wanted her to shine, and she always knew her success was because of him. She gave him her youth, her loyalty, and her career, and she never once looked back. But that profound love story would soon be tested by a cruel twist of fate, leading to the first of many unbearable goodbyes. The unspeakable grief. Love, no matter how deep, is never safe from cruelty. In 2013, the first blow came. René was diagnosed with throat cancer. Céline didn't hesitate for a second. She walked off the stage in the middle of a world tour. She disappeared into the quiet hell of hospital rooms. The world kept applauding, but she was holding a hand that was growing colder each day. Her powerful voice, once for stadiums, now cracked in quiet lullabies. She sang to him in sterile, fluorescent-lit rooms. There were no costumes and no fans, just her and him. And time was running out. On January 14th, 2016, the silence finally won. René was gone. The woman who stood unshaken before billions was now broken. Her grief was too sacred for headlines, but inside everything shattered. And then the unthinkable happened. The universe wasn't finished with its cruelty. Just as she was burying her husband, fate delivered another blow. 2 days later, on January 16th, her beloved brother Daniel Dion was also gone. He lost his battle with the same merciless disease. Within 48 hours, she lost her life partner and her childhood companion. One man built her future. The other was a piece of her past. How does one heart survive 2 funerals in 2 days? Her pain was not a wave. It was a flood. At Daniel's memorial, she stood beneath the weight of an impossible silence. Her voice, the one that once lit up arenas, was now a broken prayer. She was a ghost, walking through rituals. But she never collapsed in public. Those closest to her saw the real story. They whispered of nights she sat alone, clutching photographs, lips moving but making no sound. Grief made her thinner, quieter. It was like the music inside her was trapped behind glass. This wasn't just sorrow. It was a soul rupture, a sequence of goodbyes so cruel even angels would weep. And yet she remained standing, not to perform, but to honor them. But as viewers are about to learn, even these public tragedies were not the full story of her pain. Another secret battle was being waged, this time within her own body. The final battle. We've seen the empire. We've seen the pain it was built on. We've witnessed the poverty, the love, and the unimaginable grief. But maybe you're sitting there right now. You might be thinking, is this all real? Can this much tragedy happen to one superstar? It feels like something straight out of a movie. But here's the thing. For Céline, this is her brutal reality. There is no script. There are no fancy edits to make it look better. There is only the cold, hard truth. And truth be told, that truth is terrifying. Long before the world knew of her heartbreak, a silent war had begun. It was a war waged inside her own body. As early as 2005, she felt something was wrong. Her legendary vocal control, a gift from God, started to slip. It began as a small, nagging worry. A note she couldn't quite hold, a breath she couldn't quite control. That small worry soon grew into sheer terror. The stiffness and muscle spasms became violent. They would strike without any warning. Her body, the source of her incredible gift, became her prison. On stage, she was a goddess dressed in light. She was flawless. She was powerful. But backstage, she was collapsing in agony. Her team would find her unable to move. Her muscles would lock up like solid rock. For years, she hid this awful secret from everyone. The world saw only perfection, but she was fighting just to stand upright. To function, she took dangerously high doses of Valium. We're talking up to 90 milligrams a day. Let that sink in. Doctors have said that dose could have stopped her breathing for good. She admitted later, "I could have died," but she felt she had no choice. It was the only way to get on stage, the only way to deliver the show people paid to see, the only way to uphold her legacy. Finally, in 2022, the secret had a name: stiff person syndrome. It's an impossibly rare neurological disorder. It affects only about 1 in a million people. It turns muscles into steel. It steals your ability to walk, to move, to live, and for Céline, it threatened to silence her forever. It attacked the very source of her power, her voice. Her new documentary, I Am Céline Dion, showed the world the unfiltered truth. The camera doesn't lie. We see her on a therapy table. Her body is writhing in pain. She is a warrior in a state of private collapse. This is the brutal reality behind the $800 million. This is the real reason her family breaks down in tears. They aren't crying over money. They are crying because they watched the strongest person they know. They see her fight a battle she may not win. They have begged her to rest. They have pleaded with her to stop pushing, but she refuses to surrender. Her sons now care for her. Renee, Charles, Nelson, and Eddie are her support system. The woman who was their anchor now leans on them. They help her walk. They sit with her through the pain. They witness a side of their mother the world was never meant to see. And so we have to ask the question, what is the real cost of a dream? Celine's immense fortune is a monument to her talent, but it is also a memorial to her endless sacrifices. The tears of her family are not for the money she will leave behind. They are for the life that was taken from her, piece by painful piece, to earn it. Her story is one of courage against all odds. But looking at her life, was the fame and fortune truly worth the unimaginable price she paid? Like and subscribe for more stories that matter.